Hello, dear language learners, and welcome to the English Language Association channel of Hakim Sabzevari University. I'm Zahra Heydari, and today we'll be conducting an in-depth exploration of the passive voice, a fundamental grammatical structure that is vital for elevating your writing style. I hope you find this video informative. Let's begin. First, I want to tell you a mystery. Please imagine you walk into a room and see a broken window. You ask yourself these questions. Who broke it? What actually happened? Does the identity of the person matter, or is the fact that the window is broken more important? Please take a look at these two sentences. Someone broke the window, and the window was broken. Which sentence sounds more formal? Which sentence focuses on the action or result? Do we always need to mention the doer or agent? Exactly. Sometimes we don't know who did it, or it simply doesn't matter. This is why we use the passive voice. I guess we're all familiar with the basic form of passive voice. It is subject plus be as auxiliary verb plus past participle. For example, the car is repaired. The letter was sent yesterday. The room is being cleaned. Here we are using what? Excellent, passive voice. When we use this form, then the main question is not who, but it's what's happened. So we can see when the receiver of the action becomes the subject, or when the agent is unknown or obvious or unimportant, or when we want to focus on the action and results, not the agent, we use passive voice. In English, we have active and passive structures. Let's compare them. Well, we know that active voice the subject performs the action, and its structure is subject plus verb plus object. For example, the company built the bridge. The company here is the agent. And in passive voice, the subject receives the action, and its structure is object plus be plus past participle. And you can use by plus agent at the end of this structure. For example, the bridge was built by the company. So we can see that focus in active voice is on the agent, but in passive voice is on the receiver or result. The tone in active voice is direct and natural, but in passive voice is formal and objective. The subject in active voice performs the actions, but in passive voice receives the action. You should note that we can omit the agent entirely and say the bridge was built. This is very common when the person performing the action is irrelevant. Now, before we dive deeper, remember golden rule. Passive voice only works with transitive verbs. What is transitive verb? Verbs that require an object to receive the action are transitive verbs, okay? Requires an object. So, for example, build, write, clean, repair, arrest, damage, award. These are transitive, and you can see some common transitive verbs here. And we have some verbs that cannot normally be passive. We call these verbs intransitive. We call these verbs intransitive. For example, arrive, go, sleep, happen, die. These are intransitive verbs. You can't say he was arrived because there is no object receiving the action, yes? Okay, now we will look at how we form the passive voice across different tenses. The first tense we are going to learn is simple present passive. The structure of this form is be as auxiliary verb plus past participle. Am is are plus past participle. It means that an action happens regularly as a general fact. Okay, and we use this form for telling general facts, for telling habits, for official procedures or routines. For example, English is spoken worldwide, or the windows are cleaned every morning. Is spoken, are cleaned, is used. These are simple present passive. Now let's look at present progressive passive. The structure is am is are, be verbs yes plus being plus past participle. It means that an action is happening now to the subject, and we use this when the action is in progress or we have a temporary situation or things being done at the moment. Okay, we use this form in these situations. For example, the house is being painted right now, or the problem is being discussed, or the road is being repaired today. Is being painted, is being discussed, is being repaired. These are present progressive passive. Now, simple past passive. The structure is was or were. Again, we have be verbs as auxiliary plus past participle. So, was, were plus past participle. It means that an action happened in the past to the subject. And we use simple past passive for completed past events or historical facts or finished actions with passive focus. For example, the car was stolen yesterday. The documents were signed last night. The prize was awarded to her. Was stolen, were signed, was awarded. These are simple past passives. Okay, now past progressive passive. The structure is was or were plus being plus past participle. It means that an action was in progress in the past. Okay, we use this passive for background action in the past or emphasizing the ongoing process. For example, the room was being cleaned when I arrived, or the bridge was being repaired during the storm. Was being cleaned, was being repaired. These are past progressive. Okay, and future passive. The structure is will be plus past participle, and it means that an action will happen in the future to the subject. We use this passive form for future plans, for predictions, or scheduled or expected actions. For example, when we say, the meeting will be held tomorrow, the report will be finished by Friday, will be held, will be finished, will be informed. These are future passives. Okay, in present perfect passive, we use this form. Has been or have been plus past participle. It means that an action happened before now, but its results is important now. We use this passive form for recent completed actions, or when we want to focus on the results, or when the actions are with present relevance. For example, the work has been completed, or the package has been delivered, has been completed, has been delivered, has been made. These are present perfect passive. And we have past perfect passive. Its structure is had been plus past participle. It means that an action had already happened before another past action. And we use this passive form for earlier past event or background completed action before another past event. For example, when we say the tickets had been sold before we arrived, or the evidence had been destroyed, had been sold, had been destroyed, or had been prepared. These are past perfect passive. Okay, and here we have future perfect passive. The structure is will have been plus past participle. It means that an action will be completed before a specific future time. We use this for deadlines for completion before a future point. Okay, for example, the bridge will have been completed by 2026. Will have been completed. Here is a future perfect passive, yes. Or the papers will have been submitted by noon. Will have been submitted. The work will have been finished by tomorrow, I guess. Sorry for these days. It's written wrong. Okay. Will have been finished. It's future perfect passive. Now, let's get a bit technical. We have some special friends here. Modal passive and modal perfect passive. Look at their structure. Modal passive is modal plus be plus past participle. And modal perfect passive is modal plus have been plus past participle. It's simple, right? So, modal passive means that the action is necessary, possible, allowed, or advised. And modal perfect passive means actually it refers to unreal, past possibility, expectation, or criticism. Okay, we use these modal passive forms for obligation, advice, possibility, permission, a speculation about the past, missed actions, or hypothetical past situations. Examples for modal passive: the instruction must be followed. Must be followed. Yes, we have modal plus be plus past participle. And an example for modal perfect passive: the room should have been cleaned. Should have been cleaned. We have modal plus have been plus past participle. Okay, passive infinitive or future replacement. What's this? This form can replaces future passive and often sounds more formal. Okay, its structure is be plus to be plus past participle. For example, look at this sentence. Emilia will be awarded a scholarship. We can say Emilia is to be awarded a scholarship. Okay, is to be awarded. This sounds much more formal. Yes, instead of saying Emilia will be awarded a scholarship, we say Emilia is to be awarded a scholarship. Or for example, the instructions are to be followed precisely. So this form can replace future passive and often sounds more formal. We use this for official announcements, for instructions, for obligation, or for formal plans. And we can see different functions of the passive voice. Of course, we mentioned them before, but let's review them. When the agent is unknown, when the agent is unimportant, or when the results are more important, we said that we use passive voice. Look at the examples. For unknown agent, my bike was stolen. We can't see any agent here, right? For unimportant agent, we have the classroom was cleaned. For results more important, the bridge was built in 1998. We can use it for formal or scientific style. For example, the solution was heated to 80 degrees. We can use it for objective or impersonal tone. For example, it is believed that, or the data were analyzed carefully. We can use it for instructions or notices. For example, don't be distracted, or the door must be closed. And for academic writing or reports, for example, the experiment was conducted over 3 weeks. So these are all the functions of the passive voice, and you can use passive voice for these purposes. Now, okay, it's your turn. Try to change these sentences into passive voice. Please take your time. Identify the tenses and apply the formula. You've got this. Okay, and if you've done that, you can check your answers from this slide. Okay, that's it for today's lesson on the passive voice. Now you know how the passive voice works in different tenses and structures. Keep practicing and soon it will feel natural for you. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like the video and subscribe this channel. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye.